What's going on, you guys? So I just seen an interview with Eddie Hearn with Radio Raheem. Video link in the description for those of you who want to check it out. And it pretty much was him showing proof that he sent Jermall Charlo an offer. Now, the whole interview wasn't necessarily about that, but most of the interview was. And it seemed like Radio Raheem is real comfortable with Eddie Hearn. He asked some of the more difficult questions. And that's what I learned about Eddie Hearn over time. You know, back then, I used to be extremely critical. I couldn't stand Eddie Hearn. You know, he was a liar. He was over here acting like he was going to take over America. And he found out real quick that America is a whole different animal from the UK. You know, his fighters was losing. He took some losses, took some lumps, and he came back a lot more humble. And I pay attention to how he treated his fighters, most particularly his black fighters, his American black fighters. And a lot of those guys seem pretty happy over there for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? So if he's doing all right by boxing, if he's trying to make some of the best fights happen now, I'm a guy who's willing to give a guy a second chance, okay? But if he's trying to do right by boxing, then he's all right with me. A lot of people say you can't make fights over social media. You can't, things of that nature. But this is the new age. And social media is a fast way to get in contact with people, a fast way to let things be known. So why would you go out of your way? Remember, Eddie Hearn is a younger guy. He's not some 50, 60, 70, 80, 90-year-old promoter. He's a new age promoter. He's not like an old school promoter like Bob Arum and all these other dudes. But why would you go out of your way to make a contract up, get all these lawyers and all these guys to write up these contracts just to send it to a guy who's not even interested? So that's why you send him, tell him what you're willing to offer him. And then if you send them via email, your DM or whatever they call it. And if they're interested, they'll say, okay, yeah, me and my team will look, this looks good. Me and my team, we're going to look over, we're going to talk about it, and then we'll get back with you in a few days. We'll go from there. But no, nothing. Eddie Hearn said this will be the third offer this Thursday because he's going to send him a third one this Thursday after Andrade fights Luke Keeler on the card they got coming up. Super Bowl weekend. It's Demetrius Andrade versus Luke Keeler, Tevin Farmer versus Jojo Diaz, and it's a YouTuber fight with Jake Paul versus some YouTuber from the UK I've never heard of. Jake Paul is Logan Paul's younger brother. But I'm definitely going to be tuning in. Nothing to be happening on Thursdays. I think that's a fun day to have some fights. And because it really is beyond nothing happens on Thursdays. Maybe your favorite TV show comes on, but I'm going to be watching some boxing tomorrow. And I think that at this point, Jermall Charlo's ducking Demetrius Andrade. Eddie Hearn said that the first offer was in January. I got kind of sidetracked. The first offer was in January of 2019, early last year. Andrade actually told us about that. And, Jermall Charlo responded saying something to the fact that, yeah, me and my team, we're going to get back with Al. We're going to look at it, and then we'll get back with you or something like that. But he never got back with him. So then they sent one out, this one we recently heard about, the one in December. Still haven't, maybe Jermall Charlo's in outer space on vacation. I don't know. But they say they're going to send a third offer out. Now, really what it is, and yes, of course, I think Jermall Charlo is ducking Demetrius Andrade. I think Jermall Charlo, I believe now at this point, he don't really want to fight anybody. But in reality, if you look at it too, and like I said, on Bushido Boxing, I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. I'm not about to sit here and fabricate or sugarcoat shit like a lot of these other channels do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Bushido Boxing, man, I'm about to shit, I'm about to smoke. I want to see the best fight the best. Bushido means the way of the warrior, okay? So I'm all about the best fighting the best and shit like that. But I do understand that certain things may be bad for business. And by these guys on Premier Boxing Champions getting these offers and these deals from Matchroom and, Top Rank and things of that nature, that's bad for business for Premier Boxing Champions. Because Deontay Wilder is proof of this. Deontay Wilder had a lucrative deal with DAZN on the table. Generational wealth, something that he's been looking for. Lou DiBella went over there and set up a deal with him and DAZN to talk, and, Lou DiBella set that up. And this is why Lou DiBella is not with PBC no more. Because he went over there to try to make something happen for Wilder. Wilder is my favorite boxer, alongside of Bud and Edislandi Lara. You know what I'm saying? I really hope, I still question to this day, was that a right move from Deontay Wilder for him not to take that $100 million deal despite not knowing what AJ is getting? I still scratch my head at that. $100 million, bro? You turn it down that easily? But by him turning that down now, by him even flirting with that idea, it's bad for business for PBC. Why? Because now they got to scratch up all kinds of money to pay Deontay Wilder now because he has options. So if Jermall Charlo was to go flirt with the idea, fight on DAZN, if he goes over there, he likes it. They treat him real good. They just trying to really spoil him, and he ends up flirting with the idea of fighting another deal, an even more lucrative one. Because let's be honest, Eddie Hearn will throw that bag on the table if he really wants something to happen. He'll throw that bag on the table for you. So if they was to go over there and flirt with that idea, this makes it bad for PBC. It makes it hard for them. It makes it bad for business for them. Then you go have a lot of other guys looking over there at the zone like, wait a minute, Eddie Hearn really doing it like that? Let me go over there and check this out, man. I need I need to get paid. But the problem with Eddie Hearn is, he may or may not be able to get you the big fights that you want. If you're a guy like Andrade who keyword may simply be too good for his own good, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to get you some of these bigger fights. That's just what it is. But at the end of the day, people, all business shit aside, like I said, I like to think I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I think that if a guy like Wilder or Charlo took some of these deals or even flirted with them, it makes it harder for Premier Boxing Champions. But despite the business bullshit, you know what I'm saying, that's not necessarily bad for us. You know what I'm saying? It's bad for PBC. It's not bad for the fighters either. You know what I'm saying? Because this is life-changing money for a lot of these guys. The deal that Eddie Hearn was offering, it was a real good one. It was a co-promotional deal, So, I mean, it sounded good to me. It sounded good to me, but this loyalty thing they got with Al Heyman, I think it's kind of holding these guys back. And don't get it twisted. I was a pro-PBC guy like a lot of you dudes. I was a pro-PBC guy. I felt that they couldn't do no wrong. Eddie Hearn, Bobby Arum, or the scum of the earth, until I really just took the red pill. I took a step back, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, man, really, at the end of the day, me as a fan, in order for me to get the best out of boxing, these promoters, these network companies, these fighters, they all got to be willing to work together. It can't be this Cold War shit. We're never going to get the best out of boxing. It's just what it is, man. But Jermall Charlo, if he really wanted to fight Demetrius Andrade, he'll make it happen. PBC guys have more flexibility than any of these other guys that signed to Matchroom or Top Rank or Golden Boy. They have the most flexibility to move around and fight at other places and things of that nature. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So if Jermall Charlo really wants this fight with Andrade, we'll be getting this fight. We're going to see what happens after Andrade fight this Thursday. Be sure to check it out, see how Andrade looks. We can't take much from it. Luke Killer's probably going to be giving it his all. Whoever he is, I'm not sure who this guy is. I expect Andrade to win, but I will be grading his performance. I expect him to win. There's not much I'm going to be able to take from this fight, but I'm going to be watching him, and I'm going to see if he looks good or bad, and I'm going to tell you straight up if he looked like shit or if he looked spectacular, But yeah, man, tell me what you guys think. Eddie Hearn shows proof that he sent Jermall Charlo an offer and that he will be sending another one after this Thursday. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.